Hello. Hi, guys. Okay, first of all, let me know how the audio sounds. Visuals, audio. Is it good? Got a new mic situation happening. Uh, yeah. So it's been a pretty surprising morning. Let me pull up this chat. I need to be able to see. I woke up to some pretty surprising news that this whole trailer had dropped. Like this entire new trailer. Dune the Prophecy slash Dune the Sisterhood. This got announced a while ago. This got announced, I feel like years ago. They said they were going to make some kind of HBO show, and turned out it was going to be about the Bene Gesserit. And that is what I guess we're seeing now. It's the name has changed. It was Dune the Sisterhood for a long time, but now it is apparently Dune the Prophecy. And I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. I was so nervous at first. I was super nervous about the whole concept, just because, for various reasons. But then when we heard there was so much, craziness on the set, there was so much chaos, and they're like going in and out of like different creative people, and they're doing rewrites, and it just seemed like there was no stability, like they didn't know what they were doing. So everyone was kind of worried. And so here comes the trailer. We're gonna look into it. Someone says, is Brian Herbert getting writer credit? Um, I'm not sure. I need some caffeine. I'm not sure about the actual show, but Brian Herbert is definitely going to be credited in some way, because it does seem like it is based off of this this trilogy of books right here. And I got my nice recycled library copy of Sisterhood of Dune. It does seem to be based on this trilogy right here. You know what I'm saying? So you got Sisterhood of Dune, Mentats of Dune, and Navigators of Dune, all set about 10,000 years before the start of the Dune plot. That is, 10,000 years in our future. You know what I mean? So, like, Paul Atreides' timeline, right? That's about 20,000 years in our future, because there have been misconceptions. That's 20,000 years in our future. That's Paul Atreides' timeline. And this is set 10,000 years before that. So, in a minute, we're going to take a look at this trailer. We're going to see what it's all about. We're going to see, like, if we think it's worth anything. And, we'll see. Because just because it's based off of the Brian trilogy doesn't mean it's going to be like a one-to-one adaptation. In fact, they're almost certainly going to change things. I've looked at the trailer a little bit before we get into it. It does seem like they are keeping in line with like the Villeneuve style of things. It's definitely Villeneuve style, right? So we're going to watch the trailer. But first, before we watch the trailer, I need to test the audio, right? So I'm going to play a little bit of it, right? And play a little bit of it, and please tell me if you can hear it. Right? Please tell me, like, as soon as you can hear it, tell me that you can hear it, okay? And then we'll start it over and watch the whole thing.
10,000 years before the birth of Paul Atreides, before the universe would know us as the Bene Gesserit.
You hear that? That's nice and clear. There's no echo. Because I remember the whole fiasco when I did the original, the Dune trailer, and it was like, I'm streaming and can't hear it. Okay, so it's good. It's good. It's good. It's good. That's good. So let's watch this together, and then watch it a couple more times, and then, just see what we can try and figure out about this. I'm going to move the screen over here for me so I can see that. Move the chat over here, and let's go.
10,000 years before the birth of Paul Atreides, before the universe would know us as the Bene Gesserit.
See, they're definitely trying to keep the Villeneuve style, right? It looks like the Villeneuve Dune.
We founded a sisterhood, assigned to the great houses to help them sift truth from lies.
So yeah, assigned to the great houses. So we're dealing with the same great houses, in this trilogy. It's the same great houses you know and love. The Carinos, the Harkonnens, the Atreides. Everybody's still there. And a couple new ones as well.
We created a network of influence throughout the Imperium. But power comes with a price. A sister on the throne. Nothing is more important.
I gotta say, this wedding ceremony, Visuals. Well, that's the thing about HBO. HBO usually kills it with the visuals. Like that dress. Wow.
Sister on the throne. Nothing is more important. And this is the marriage that makes it possible. This is us playing God, and we will be judged for it.
Jesus, calm down. You gotta be so melodramatic, and we will be judged for it. Yeah, it's the whole thing. So right there, she calls her Valia Harkonnen, who's basically the main character from this one. So yeah, so at the start of these books, essentially like the Harkonnen family is disgraced. I forget exactly what for, but throughout the books, you have like the Harkonnen family trying to basically restore their good name, essentially. And one of the ways they do that is by joining the Sisterhood. At least Valia joins the Sisterhood, and at that point in time, the Sisterhood is led by actually an Atreides, a descendant of the Atreides. So it's a very different dynamic. It's like, this is kind of like pre-Atreides Harkonnen feud. So you got Harkonnens and Atreides working together. So it's a whole thing. Anyway, let's continue. Lots of very similar shots, like taken
above all.
So is this her as like Mother Superior? I was, so a lot of these shots look like they're definitely aping the Villeneuve stuff, right? A lot of the shots look like, taken directly from the Villeneuve style. Like, I'm pretty sure I saw someone taking the water of life. Let me just look at that real quick. Yeah, like right there. That was so quick. Yeah, oh God, it's so quick. Right there. That looks just like when Jessica takes the water of life in the movie, right? Yeah. I'm not like not excited. I'm not trying to like hate on it, but I don't see like all of this looks exactly like the movie, right? You know what I mean? It's kind of weird that the visuals are kind of so close in a way, given that this is 10,000 years in the past. Like they've kept things very close. Like it looks like the same time period, which is a bit questionable, right? If this is 10,000 years ago, shouldn't things look a little bit different? It looks like the exact same time period, as far as I'm concerned. Interesting. I don't know. See, it also feels to me, I want to say it feels a little bit safe, right? Because it looks so similar to the Villeneuve stuff, and we know that Villeneuve isn't really working on this anymore. So it feels like they were really, really afraid to take any kind of risk. They wanted to keep it all very, very in line with the Villeneuve stuff. We'll see how it works out. Now, you guys know I'm not the biggest fan of like these books, narratively speaking. I'm not the biggest fan of, the way, they describe the events happening. I'm just not the biggest fan of the way they're written. I'm not a big fan of anything in these books. But I think if you can take, some of the characters and the ideas and you can take the time period, you could make it interesting. So there's the potential for it to be good and interesting, but I can't tell from the trailer. They've gotten these trailers down basically to a science. I mean, it's easy to make a good trailer. You know what I mean? It's really easy to make a good trailer and not so easy to make a good show, movie, whatever. So, like I said, I don't want to like diss this or like criticize it too much because I haven't seen it. But I guess we'll have to see what they do. We'll have to see what they do because I have a creeping suspicion that they're not really going to be following these books, right? I have a creeping suspicion that they're not really going to be following these books and that this show or whatever is going to be its own storyline that they're crafting here at HBO or Max. I don't know. It's weird. I really hate the rebranding to Max. Like whose decision was it to rebrand to Max? It's just call it HBO. It's so dumb. Who owns the rights to the books? That would be Brian Herbert, if I am correct. Someone says, well, the narrative does say 10,000 years before, as opposed to 10,191. So I guess 191 years from now could be close. It's not 191 years from now. See, that's a common misconception. That's a very common misconception with Dune. Dune is not set 10,000 years in the future. 10,000 AG is not the same thing as 10,000 AD, right? So AG after Guild. So essentially you have 10,000 years of human history from this point in history on, right? You have 10,000 years of human history, and over the course of this time you have like things like the Butlerian Jihad and all sorts of things happen in that 10,000 years. And then you have the Guild being formed, and then we have a reset. We get a reset to the year 0, and we start the after Guild calendar, basically. So the Paul Atreides stuff is after Guild. And this also should be after Guild, a little bit before Guild. I mean, it's the books, it's like a little bit before, a little bit after. No, it's in that time when the switchover happened, basically. So this trilogy is kind of about the formation, things like the Guild. It's about the formation of the Bene Gesserit Sisterhood. It's about like how the Mentats came about. Because following the Butlerian Jihad, you had this family called the Butlers. They led this jihad across the galaxy and basically banned all thinking machines. And it wasn't just thinking machines, really. It was just like they wanted to get rid of people's dependence on technology, and it was also like wrapped up in being like this religious thing. It was like this religious anti-technology jihad that happened. And since humans could no longer really depend on any sort of technology thinking machines, they had to form all these groups like the Mentat, like the Sisterhood, like the Guild. And these were meant to come in and step in and kind of take the place of thinking machines and computers. They kind of fill that vacuum. We make humans into kind of superhumans instead of building machines that eventually maybe rebel. Well, I mean, the Dune series isn't really about machines rebelling. That's not really the whole idea. But yeah, that's the junk. That's what's happening here. So I'm gonna look at the trailer again, guys, just to see what I can see. Let's run it back to the beginning. The eye galaxy thing.
10,000 years before the birth of Paul Atreides. Before the universe would know us as the Bene Gesserit.
What's going on there? Like, what are they doing? Like, are they meditating? I could see that maybe they'd be meditating.
Before the universe would know us as the Bene Gesserit.
Yeah. So she says before the universe would know us as the Bene Gesserit. Yeah. Basically, at the start of Sisterhood of Dune, they're not really the Bene Gesserit. They're the Sisterhood of Rossic. You know what I mean? They're kind of not there yet. They haven't infiltrated everything. They're the Sisterhood of Rossic. So anyway, and Rossic is a planet that a large part of the book takes place on.
We founded a sisterhood.
See, that's the thing about this, and I don't want to crap on it at all because I'm excited. I'm gonna watch it. It looks so close to the Villeneuve stuff. I just feel like it doesn't seem. It's very in line. It's very in line, and it's a little weird because it's 10,000 years earlier, and it's a little weird. It makes me feel a little bit weird because I don't. Is there anyone that has like a pointed creative direction? Is there someone that's in charge of this that has their own vision? Or are we just going to get someone that's trying to ape? Are we just going to get something that's aping Villeneuve's style, but it's just not as good? You know what I mean? That is kind of what I'm afraid of. Good casting in this. Got some good talent for
Assigned
sure.
to the great houses to help them sift
This is very Game of
truth from
Thronesy to
lie.
me, like the way this to me is a Game of Thrones shot here.
Assigned to the great
Walking through the gate, walking up to the throne. I've seen this exact shot in Game of Thrones like 20 times. Like walking through a gate, walking up to a throne.
Assigned to the great houses to help.
That's 100% Game of Thrones. I don't know how anybody can deny that. This looks just, if I squinted my eyes, if you didn't tell me this was Dune and you said this is a shot from like some Game of Thrones prequel or something, I'd be like, oh, okay.
Help them sift truth from lies. We created a network of influence.
So is this a so this is a Bene Gesserit truth sayer, I guess. You see a little bit of that Bene Gesserit sign language happening. Not sure who this character is. Is this okay? Is this the marriage that's supposed to be happening? Hmm.
We created a network of influence throughout the Imperium. But power comes with a price. A sister on the throne. Nothing is more important. And this is the marriage that makes it possible. This is us playing God, and we will be judged for it.
Okay, let me peep this a little bit more. The visuals are killing. Visuals are killing. So is she marrying the child emperor? Is that what's happening here? Yeah, she's marrying like the child emperor, which is, you know, I guess it happens in a feudal society. You know, you got to get the bloodlines going early. Seen a bunch of Game of Thrones.
It's the marriage that makes it possible.
So the
This
Bene
is
Gesserit,
us
this is just
playing.
the beginning. Bene Gesserit beginning the work that they're known for doing. You know, they're manipulating the bloodlines. They're getting power where they can, but they need to be behind the scenes. That's the way they operate. So that's what might be interesting about this show is that I really, really want to get an inside look at the Bene Gesserit and the way they operate. Now, what might make this show like fail a little bit is I'm like worried about like how Bene Gesserit are they? It seems like they're honestly a little bit more Bene Gesserit ish than they might be in this because here they're kind of in the book they're kind of pre Bene Gesserit a little bit, and it seems like here they kind of have their powers already. Like for instance, in the Sister of Doom book, you have the Atreides Reverend Mother who was poisoned, and then that's how she awakened her genetic memory. It was like this accidental thing. So like all the Bene Gesserit aren't walking around with all their skills already. So that's why I would have preferred something that was set post Paul Atreides, right? That was my idea, right? Instead of like setting this before Paul Atreides, let's just jump to 5,000 years after Paul Atreides. And I feel like there would be the same amount of separation, right? Between like I don't think jumping 5,000 years like spoils what happens in Dune. And I feel like that's what they would have done if they had I mean, if they were really on it, because we want to see the Bene Gesserit be the Bene Gesserit and not be the proto Bene Gesserit. I want to see the real Bene Gesserit. But I haven't lost hope. And it seems like we're still going to get a lot of that energy in this one. So I've got some hopes.
God, and we will be judged for it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Why'd she say her name like that?
We will be judged for it.
Dramatic. Get out of here. Yeah, it looks exactly like Villeneuve's stuff. You know, it really does look like someone took Villeneuve's Dune and took like House of the Dragon / Game of Thrones and just was like smush these two together. Make a show out of it. Not sure what to make of Vaya on the throne at the end, but yeah, we will see. We'll see. We'll see. There's good things about it, right? There's a lot of good things to say about it, right? This could look a lot worse. We could be dealing with um I don't want to like throw anybody under the bus, but there's a lot of things that have come out that are like adapted from whatever that just look awful. And so this doesn't look bad. I just don't feel like it has I don't necessarily feel like it has a soul of its own. You know what I'm saying? If that makes any sense. It doesn't look bad to me, but I don't feel like it has a real soul. And I could be totally wrong. I need to look at it, but it seems pretty derivative visually so far. Like right now, this shot right here looks exactly like Game of Thrones. Right? If you said this was a new Jon Snow show, a Game of Thrones sequel, and you showed me this shot, I'd be like, "Oh yeah, that's beyond the wall right now." Right now. And there's so many shots in this that just look like something else. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to say. What do you guys think about this? I'm gonna look at the chat. And how do you guys like my new mic? I got this new mic. It's kind of like in the way for when the camera's on, but I mean it's got good sound. What do you guys think? You guys watched it a couple times with me. Like, what do you guys think about this? Because I feel like I'm in the middle. I'm still in the middle. Like before, I was kind of like, I'm really not sure about this, and now I've kind of gone more towards the middle where I'm like, it could go either way. I'm not like, oh my god, I'm so excited. Someone says, looks melodramatic. Some of the dialogue is kind of cliche a little bit, right? Too early to speculate anything. What's the timeline? This is 10,000 years before Paul Atreides, 10,000 years after us. Looks fine. It looks fine, right? I feel like it does look fine, and that's like the ultimate. That's what I'm getting at. It looks fine, but am I jumping out of my seat? Am I like, oh yeah? That's probably because I'm not jumping out of my seat about these books either. I'm not a big fan of prequel stuff in general because I just feel like in general, let's move our timeline forward and let's not keep going back. Looks safe, right? That's what Mondo Cool says. It looks safe. It looks very safe to me. Tribal Life says the casting is strong, and I definitely agree that the casting is absolutely there. Casting is there, but it just looks safe. It looks very close to Villeneuve, which is interesting because Villeneuve is not on this project anymore. Like if this was Villeneuve at the head of it and it looked like Villeneuve, then I'd be like, okay. But Villeneuve, like, not really having much to do with this at all anymore, and it looking so close to like what he crafted in his Dune movies is a little bit of a red flag, just a little bit, because it's the same universe, so they want to make it familiar, they want to keep it in line. But I feel like there is a line between, like too close. You can cross that line of being too close, and especially when we do want to have a little bit of distinction. Um, because it's 10,000 years in the future. What do you mean it doesn't look like Villeneuve? So this doesn't look like Villeneuve? JSF Productions. You think this doesn't they're not aping
Jester.
basically everything that Villeneuve did stylistically? This isn't this doesn't look like literal shots from the Dune movie. Like some of these shots look like they could literally be taken right out of Dune. You know what I'm saying? Like, look at this.
And we will be judged for
That doesn't look like a shot right out of Dune. It doesn't look like Dune. What are you
We
saying?
founded a
That
sisterhood.
doesn't look like Dune? What? How does? What do you? Okay, okay. I feel like that's cap. I feel like saying that they're not like trying to ape the style of the Villeneuve stuff is a big cap. I think that's cap because it definitely looks the same. It definitely looks like they had no like they had no ideas about what they wanted to do creatively, so they just went with what Villeneuve did and basically worked their way from there and added a little bit of Game of Thrones energy to it. But yeah, I agree. Deeb, it does look like House of the Dragon, right? It looks like there's moments where I'm just like, this is House of the Dragon. This is yeah. I mean, it doesn't look big, right? That's the thing about Villeneuve stuff. It's big. Villeneuve goes big. So I mean, definitely the scale is like dialed in for sure. Someone says it looks like that AI painting that won the art contest with the big circle. I didn't hear about that. Someone said it's not a red flag though if the writing's good. That's the thing. We don't know. I don't know. You don't know. Nobody knows. We gotta wait to see the show. We gotta wait to see what the writing is like because the writing could be amazing. Could blow us all away, and it'd be interesting. It'd be interesting if the writing was just really good. HBO is good at crafting, a show. HBO is good at making shows that get you through 10 episodes and that are entertaining. So we'll see. We'll see. Like I said, um, I am interested in seeing the Benny Gesserit work and play and get to work and operate. Because we get a little bit of that in the Villeneuve movies, but I feel like that was to me one of the most interesting parts of the Villeneuve stuff, especially the second one, was seeing like the Benny Gesserit kind of control things from the background. And I think that's largely what this show is going to be about. And I think that could be potentially very, very interesting. And I am hoping that it's good. And I'm hoping that it's worth watching because I want the Dune franchise, like I said, to prosper and to get bigger and bigger and bigger because I feel like Dune is just such an amazing series full of a lot of wisdom, I think. And it's just fun to read. It's a great science fiction universe to get into. So I'm hopeful for Dune the Prophecy. I'm hopeful to that it will be good and that it will be entertaining. Okay. Yeah, they're definitely keeping in line with the Villeneuve stuff. Um, yeah. So yeah, let me just. So this is like a funeral
We founded a
procession
sisterhood.
of some kind. Yeah, this is like a funeral. I wonder who's died. Perhaps like a mother superior, or maybe this is a shot of because you know the Bene Gesserit. You know, you start off as an initiate in the Bene Gesserit sisterhood, right? And you have to work your way up. And eventually you can potentially become a reverend mother. But even girls with the potential to become a reverend mother sometimes don't do it at all, right? Because there's a chance that you'll just die because you have to take poison and you have to use all the knowledge that you've learned your entire life as a Bene Gesserit to take that poison inside of you and convert it into something that's not deadly. And in the process, it awakens your genetic memory and you become even more powerful. But if it does not work, you die. So I this could potentially be a sister that has attempted the water of life and has died. Because we do see in this shot, there's a shot like right before it shows the title. It's such a quick shot. Right there. That looks like someone taking the water of life, right? That looks like someone maybe awake or attempting to awaken their genetic memory and perhaps failing. So perhaps this is the person that fails and then dies, right? So what is this happening? Yeah, I think this is the table that the person is laying on. So I think this right here is the ceremony. It looks like some Bene Gesserit are waiting here, and you got some watchers maybe up here in some bleacher type things looking down at the ceremony before it takes place. So I think that's what's happening there. That we're going to see like a water of life type ceremony, and it goes wrong, and the sister ends up dying because that's what happens a lot of the times. Um, I forget exactly what the character's name is, but in the book God Emperor of Dune, you have the God Emperor. He's talking to a Bene Gesserit initiative, and she has a mind where she remembers everything that's said to her. Like she can record anything that's said to her in her mind. So he's like leaving this message from himself to the sisterhood through her, and he's like, tell them this. And he says something to her like later, like he says, I forget exactly how it goes down, but she says it's almost as if this is like your last rite, like this is a funeral rite, like this is like your last will and testament or something. And she asks him, "Are you going to die, my lord?" And he says, "Dear sister, it is you who will die." And apparently, this sister dies years later in this ceremony, like attempting to awaken her other memory. And Leto could see that she would die. Um, so yeah, it's no joke. It's no joke. Like unlocking your genetic memory is not an easy thing. The best of them can still fail it, basically. Um, you know. So yeah, good trailer. Good trailer. Like if I knew nothing about Dune, if I knew nothing about Dune at all, I'd be like, whoa, what is this? I'd definitely be interested. So yeah, I'd definitely be interested. Like I said, it looks good. It looks competent. Also, this chain very similar to something that Jessica wears in the movie, right? Jessica wears a very similar like chain face mask thing. It looks like a more yeah, definitely very similar. Someone says, "Oh, it's space Game of Thrones." I'm getting that vibe, and I think a lot of people are gonna. I think a lot of people are gonna get that vibe. Actually, space Game of Thrones. I think, Dune gets that thrown at itself. Gets that thrown at it sometimes. Space Game of Thrones, but I think this even more so is space Game of Thrones. In fact, it's kind of literally space Game of Thrones, if you like listen to the lines.
But power comes with a price.
Power comes with the price.
A sister on the throne. Nothing is more important.
A sister on the throne. Nothing is more important. Yeah, it's very, very Game of Thronesy. A sister on the throne is very concerned with who sits the throne. And look, the Bene Gesserit, it's not really about who's on the throne. It's about who's behind the person on the throne. So I mean, I don't buy that the Bene Gesserit are just like, oh, we definitely gotta get a sister on the throne. I mean, because I mean, look who's right behind him. That's a Bene Gesserit truth sayer right there. Right? I don't know who this is supposed to. Maybe I don't know who this is supposed to be, but this could be the Spacing Guild or the Mentats or something. I'm not sure who this is supposed to be, but like my point is it doesn't matter who sits on a seat of power. It matters like that there's a Reverend Mother behind him whispering in his ear, right? Yeah, I'm not sure who this character is supposed to be, but I'm not sure if he's the Emperor or if he is a powerful leader of some other organization like the Spacing Guild or like Norma Sinva's husband. But that would be a big shift from even those books because it's not on a throne. So I'm guessing that is an emperor. I'm guessing this is the emperor of the known Imperium. This is his wife, and this is a marriage between a Bene Gesserit and their son. That's what I'm guessing from looking at this, because this looks like a very Bene Gesserit woman marrying a very young guy. It seems like what's happening here. So okay, that makes sense, I guess. Bene Gesserit are all about that, man. I take it you guys remember the imprintation. The whole bits about imprintation from Heretics of Dune and Chapter House Dune. It's a whole thing. Someone says, what time period is this? This is set 10,000 years before Paul Atreides, 10,000 years after right now, 10,000 years after 2024, right? But 10,000 years before Paul Atreides, which is 20,000 years in the future. Someone says, looks mid. I get the critique. My friend. Okay, let me see. Let's see what else I'm seeing here. Is this? Where is this? Where is she? And I wonder how.
And this is the marriage that makes it possible. This is us playing God, and we will be judged for it.
I wonder, is Valia like already a Bene Gesserit? Because I feel like Sisterhood of Dune is kind of about her becoming a Bene Gesserit. You know what I mean? So she wouldn't already be one. So, but change it though. Like I'm saying, like change it. Like change all this. Take all this, totally throw it away. Like take these books, these, throw them away. Throw them in the trash. Change everything. I'm saying change it. But I'm just trying to see like what is. It looks pretty different. I mean, they're not really like. I'm not thinking I'm seeing anything of like the guild or the Mentats. Maybe some, but I don't know. I mean, you can definitely tell by watching this that it was meant to be called Dune the Sisterhood at first, right? They definitely were going for Dune the Sisterhood, and they changed it to Dune Prophecy. But I think the reason they changed it to Dune Prophecy is because they're like halfway through the show and they're realizing, hey, this is nothing like that book, Dune Sisterhood of Dune. So let's not call it that. Let's not call it Dune the Sisterhood because it's nothing like Sisterhood of Dune. We're just literally keeping one character's name, maybe. What is this? What's happening here? Humans dancing around in a cave. Some primitive world somewhere. And then, okay, looks like there's gonna be Definitely like some battles happening. Okay, she looks scared. Okay. Okay. And then we see her sitting on the throne at the end. Huh. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, I just don't I just don't know. I don't know what it's about. I just don't know what it's about. Ugh, God, I feel like it could go either way. That's why I'm like so in between. Like I wish I could have came on here and saw this and been like, "Whoa, this is freaking epic." But I'm really just kind of like, "Okay, I see you. I'm going to reserve judgment. I see you, HBO. I see you doing the prophecy. I get it. I see what you're doing. I'm gonna reserve judgment for whenever this comes out. Did it say when, by the way? Did it say when? No, it just immediately like pay us, give us money, give us $9.99 a month, give us money, give money to another streaming service. Oh God, so annoying. This fall, this fall. Okay, we'll see. I guess I'll see you guys this fall. I guess we'll have a Dune show to review in the fall. I guess. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. So it looks like okay. So from what I'm gathering from the trailer, this
Bene Gesserit.
show doesn't look like it's about the early formation of the Bene Gesserit. It looks like it's about the beginning of the breeding program. That's what I'm seeing here. So it looks like it's about the beginning of the Bene Gesserit breeding program. So we have the Bene Gesserit sisterhood um, being pushed by Valia Harkonnen to wed a sister to the Emperor's son. That way they can gain control over the Imperial bloodline, and it looks like there is some dissent in the sisterhood. You know, you got this sister saying this,
And we will be judged for it.
we're playing God and we will be judged for it. So there is dissent among the sisterhood, which is definitely happens, right? You know, we got the books Heretics and Chapter House. They're all about, you know, that's where the phrase heretic of Dune comes from, because in those later Dune books, we are dealing with quote unquote heretics among the sisterhood, because the sisterhood is generally very aligned in its purpose. But then every now and again, there's heretics, there's people that disagree. So that's what a heretic is. Um, so yeah, that's what seems to be happening here. We got Valia's machinations. She seems to be pushing the sisterhood in a direction. There seems to be some that are resisting. Not sure who this character is or what's up with her. I guess she's like some kind of, maybe this is the Giannis school. Maybe she's like a swords master of some kind. Maybe she is the other Harkonnen girl, because there is a younger Harkonnen sister in the books as well, right? There's the Harkonnen brother who goes off and screws around with the Spacing Guild. Uh, and then there's with the Landsrat and all those people. But and then there is the younger sister too. So maybe she is the younger Harkonnen sister, potentially. And we got some guy. I guess we only needed to see his back. Maybe that's who this is. Okay, I'm guessing that that's who these two characters are. Right, we got these two characters. Not sure who they are. And then he's walking around shirtless outside. He's giving me Duncan Idaho vibes. Honestly, this guy gives me more Duncan Idaho vibes than Jason Momoa. I get more Duncan Idaho feels from this guy. That's more Duncan to me, but whatever. Walking outside shirtless, having some sexy time. And so okay, so maybe so maybe they're the people who are on this planet here. And then it's also snowy sometimes. I guess we'll just have to see. I guess someone says, nah, Duncan, Wyoming. Duncan, Wyoming. Drunken, Iowa. Oh my God. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm down. I'm down for some Benny Gesserit happenings. Let me see if there's anything else I missed. I think I pretty much covered every little shot. Like, what is this? I don't know if we're meant to make sense of all these like visuals that are
We
happening.
created a network of influence
I just feel
throughout
like it represents, what do they call it in the books? The Alam al Mythical or something like that. They call it the Alam al Mythical, the Arcana. The only thing Duncan Idaho's Gola wasn't given access to in the Heretics of Dune book. It's very mysterious. It's like he was given access to everything, but he wasn't allowed to access the Arcana. You know, they don't want him to be able to see into the Alam al Mythical or whatever. What's happening
the
here?
Imperium.
Hands on the chest.
Of influence throughout the Imperium. Throughout the
Hmm. And that's being said at the same time as influence throughout the Imperium. So it looks like what's happening here as well is that the Emperor is having an affair with his truth sayer. So it looks like the Emperor is already having an affair with his truth sayer. And if you're having an affair with your truth sayer, you're basically already under the control of the Bene Gesserit. You know what I mean? Because the honor matres take the same thing and they kind of like push it to a whole another level. You know about the honor matres, but the Bene Gesserit, there's a line in either Heretics or Chapter House Dune that cracks me up. Right, it cracks me up every single time. Right, and it's something about I'm pretty sure it's Lucilla that says this, where she's basically talking about how good she is in the sack, essentially, and she says something about like I can do all 47 known vaginal pulsations. So it's serious, right? So if you're having it's serious. So if you're having an affair with your truth sayer, she's basically got you whipped, and that's just what it is. So that's the deal with that. So if he's already having an affair with the truth sayer, yeah, Beach, he's sexually vulnerable. He's sexually vulnerable at this point. So yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's something like this, man. I forget the number, but it's something like that, and it's an insane number, and it's it's like Frank Herbert. That's why when people are like, the final book, the later books are weird, are horny in a weird way. It's interesting. Yeah, it's kind of accurate. It's pretty accurate. So yeah, that's what's happening there. It seems like he's having an affair with the truth sayer already. So that's interesting.
power comes with a price.
Power comes with price. I think I've peeped everything. So yeah, having an affair with the truth sayer. They want to marry the emperor's son to a Bene Gesserit woman, so they gain control over the bloodlines. It looks like we're dealing. I don't know. Maybe this has something to do with myth seeding. I really hope that they're not going to try and do some twist and have this planet here be Arrakis. I'd be really upset if this planet that they keep showing is Arrakis, and that'd be really annoying, right? So but this could be maybe like a primitive world where we're gonna see the Missionara Protectiva at work, where we're gonna see like the Bene Gesserit doing their religious seeding. So that'd be interesting. Um, yeah, so that could be potential. I'd really hate it if they tried to do something like this is Arrakis before the worms or something. Really hate it. I'd really hate it, but we'll see. Because we do know Arrakis in the books. From what we gather, Arrakis wasn't always a desert planet. Arrakis was made into a desert planet. So that is potentially something they could do, but I don't have faith in them that they could do that well, especially because that's something that's kept very mysterious throughout the book series, and I don't think we need a TV show to go in and try and make it make sense. What are the two statues? A good question, because there are two statues alongside both sides of his throne.
To help
Pretty blurry.
to the great houses.
Pretty blurry. I can't really see what they are exactly. Maybe past emperors or something. Someone says the bio says the main two sisters are the Harkonnens clashing. Oh, I didn't even read the bio. Oh, not the bio of this. Hmm. I wonder if there's an article about it somewhere. I'm gonna look it up. Okay, so Variety has an article. Dune. Dune, the Prophecy trailer reveals fall premiere epic first footage of Benny Gesserit origin story. Okay. Dune, the Prophecy, the long gestated prequel series at Max has released its first trailer. 6 episode. Oh, there's only 6 episodes. That's interesting. 6 episodes, right? Oh, wow. Let's see. Um, Sisterhood, written by Brian Herbert. Okay, so inspired by the novel Sisterhood of Dune by Brian Herbert and Kevin, the official logline says from the expansive universe of Dune, created by author Frank Herbert and 10,000 years before the ascension of Paul Atreides, Dune the Prophecy follows two Harkonnen sisters as they combat forces that threaten the future of humankind and establish the fabled sect that will be known as the Bene Gesserit. Okay. Are we cutting out the brother character? I think the brother character might be Ixnay. I think we're axing the brother. Okay. Dune the Prophecy will star Emily Watson, Olivia Williams, Travis Fimmel. Okay. Allison Skapker serves as the showrunner and an executive producer. Okay. It's nice that there's a female executive, that there's a female showrunner and female developers on the show because it is a show about the Bene Gesserit. So I mean, you need to have women actually making the show. That makes a lot of sense to me. And hopefully they can write away some of the more annoying bits of this trilogy. In fact, write away the whole thing. Just don't even do that. Anyway, I love all the work you do, by the way. Well, thanks for watching. I know I'm not the best streamer. I've never been the best streamer. So I appreciate you guys working with me on these streams because I am not that good at it. Oh, wait, let me go back. I didn't mean to disappear my screen. Share screen. Okay, we're back. We're back. So yeah, I think we've been over everything. So basically, I'm thinking that what we see in the trailer, we see like a few Bene Gesserit rituals. It looks like the Bene Gesserit do the water of life on one of their sisters, and it goes wrong. And it looks like then they have like kind of a funeral, and it looks like we're setting up that there's an emperor and that he's married, but he's also having an affair with his Bene Gesserit truthsayer, and also the Bene Gesserit are um, attempting to gain control over the bloodlines by breeding his son with one of their own. I don't know who this figure here is. Potentially, maybe that's the older brother, Harkonnen. Maybe. I don't know. Okay, that's the Emperor and his truthsayer, or Valia Harkonnen. The Emperor and his wife, the Bene Gesserit, who's about to marry the Emperor's son, it looks like. That's their wedding. Um, let's see what else. Okay, so we have the inner workings of the Bene Gesserit. One of these women is an Atreides, and I think the Mother Superior of the Bene Gesserit.
God, and we will be judged for it.
I'm not sure which characters are which just yet. This could be the younger Harkonnen sister. So this could mean that this is the Harkonnen planet where this is taking place on, and maybe the people on the planet are just primitive people that live on the Harkonnen world. There's potential of that. Okay, so that's interesting. All right. I guess it remains to be seen. I guess it all remains to be seen. I think I've gone over it enough times. Yeah, so I hope I did a good job with this stream. Please tell me I did a good job. I don't know. I'm just here. If you've been liking the stream, please hit the like button. Hit the like button. It really helps out everything with the YouTube algorithm. Yeah. So thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. Any more like questions or ideas about anything, guys? What do you think about it? How do you feel about it? Is it how's it going? Also, if you have any ideas on how I can improve my streams in the future, let me know because it's a process. Like I'm not necessarily like the best at like sitting live and discussing things live. But yeah, I do it. I do it. And also, yeah, check out the Three Body Problem show on Netflix too, guys. If you missed that, I did some live streams where I had my PowerPoints and I was going through that. So definitely check out that show on Netflix. Really good if you enjoyed the Shishinlu books. Check out that. And yeah, um, some working on videos. Several videos coming in the next couple weeks. Right, going to a wedding this week, so next week. So it'll be a little bit, but a couple videos coming in the next couple weeks. We got the final architecture, Shards of Earth, basically a review of that book, and we've got more stuff coming. So definitely more videos coming in the future. This was kind of a surprise stream because it was like, whoa, this came out of nowhere. I had no idea they were dropping this trailer. No one, I don't think, had any idea. But yeah, uh, thanks, guys. I guess I'll see you later on. All right, now that I'm done streaming, I can smoke crack like I usually do. All right, so let me just grab my crack. Oh no, I'm still streaming. Oh no, I'm ruined. They all know I smoke crack now. No, I'm just kidding.